Good morning, AOPA Australia members. This is Paul Southwick coming to you this time from Moorabbin Airport in Victoria, Australia. We're here today for a bit of a scoop really. We're at what, as from the 1st of October, will be the new Cirrus Sales Centre and the Cirrus Training Centre. Just looking here at a brand new SR20 GTS which has just been delivered. Looks absolutely magnificent in this colour scheme. I haven't seen it before, silver and white. But the real reason we're here is to test fly this Cirrus SR20 G6. I've deliberately left the flaps down and the doors open because we're going to have a look in a moment. Some interesting things about the G6 SR20. I have flown it before quite a bit and have enjoyed it. We haven't done a review though for AOPA Pilot Magazine, which is what we're going to do today. The G6 is interesting. This one here is even more interesting. It used to actually have an American registration when it first came, and I flew it with the American registration. It's now Zulu Papa Zulu. They've also added a few stripes which make it quite a nice looking aircraft. The G6, which came out last year, was a massive improvement for Cirrus on the previous model in my view. What they've done is they've made a number of improvements. The first one is that they've gone away from a 6-cylinder Continental to a 4-cylinder Lycoming engine, and they've increased the horsepower from 200 to 215. That makes quite a big difference in the cruise. The first time I flew this aircraft I was getting up to 160 knots. The book says 155, but it was cruising at about 160 knots. So we're going to have a look at that today as well and see how it cruises, and we're also going to compare it with a similar speed to what the previous model flew at, which was about 130, 135 knots, and see what sort of fuel consumption we get. So that was the first improvement, was the engine, and with that engine comes a lot of benefits, not just the speed and the increased carrying load, which I'll come to in a moment, but also reduced maintenance costs because of just having 4 cylinders. The other improvements on the aircraft, being a G6, it was harmonised with the SR22, so it basically looks exactly the same now. There's almost no differences. Internally, it also has the Garmin Perspective avionics in the NXI version. I actually might wander into the cockpit and we'll have a look. The advantage of the NXI avionics is they're blisteringly fast. What's often not mentioned is it has a new font and a new high definition screen as well, so the screens are incredibly clear when you're using them. The other feature that I really like is that when you're flying along, it tells you not only the registration of the aircraft you're flying, but which ATC you're talking to. I like that because I fly a lot of different aircraft in a lot of different places, as do instructors and other people, so it's just great to have that in front of you, and it just stops you making that silly mistake. What else do I like about the Garmin avionics, the new version? Well, the new version has the QWERTY keyboard, and of course it has all that brilliant stability protection, so if you try and bank too far left, too far right, pitch the nose up too high, etc., it'll just push you back and bring you back to level flight. It also has the hypoxia protection as well. If you're up high flying along and you don't respond to messages, it'll descend the aircraft slowly down to oxygen breathing altitudes. The other thing about this new SR20 G6 is it has a significantly increased useful load. When you take the correct propeller with it, one of the options, it actually increases the useful load by an incredible 150 pounds. If you haven't been eating too many fresh cream donuts or having too many milkshakes, that means probably that's another whole person's extra load. So that's a big improvement as well. I like the colour scheme on this one. It's a good high visibility scheme. We're going to shoot up and do a couple of circuits around the Melbourne CBD, and then we're going to fly down the coast and have a look around down there. This has been a huge seller for Cirrus. I sort of stuck my neck out when it first came out and said that I thought it would be. It's been a tremendous seller for them. One of the reasons for that is that this aircraft can do pretty much everything the 22 can do. Maybe not fly quite as high and quite as fast. The 22 has another probably 20 knots. but it's a couple of $100,000 US cheaper. So if it's you, the wife, or you and your partner, and could be a couple of kids maybe as well, it's an absolutely wonderful aircraft to own. Alright, so for the moment this is Paul Southwick, editor of AOPA Pilot Australia, signing off. We will, as usual, take some more videos when we're flying and some images, and we'll post them later this evening.